Hello, welcome to ThriveGroups. We're so glad to have you here with us today as we have our group together. We're in a new series called Invisible People, where we're talking about people in the Bible that maybe get overlooked, but they're heroes nonetheless. Before we get started, though, we're going to go over our ground rules. First is that we want to encourage everyone to participate and no one to dominate, and also that we start on time and we end on time. So, with that, let's jump right in. Our opening question is this: who was your hero growing up? Was it Superman, Spider-Man, maybe a police officer? I don't know. Maybe a relative. For me, it was a guy probably most people haven't heard of. His name was Gospel Bill. Gospel Bill was a kids TV show character, and he was a cowboy, and he was a sheriff, and he preached the gospel. So, man, I loved Gospel Bill growing up. So, how about you? Who was your hero when you were growing up? Okay, we're going to read a section from scripture here, and then we're going to talk about what stands out to us. So, this is from Exodus 1:15 to 21. I'll read it, and then we'll discuss it. Then Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, gave this order to the Hebrew midwives, Shiphrah and Puah. When you help the Hebrew women as they give birth, watch as they deliver. If the baby is a boy, kill him. If it's a girl, let her live. But because the midwives feared God, they refused to obey the king's orders. They allowed the boys to live too. So the king of Egypt called for the midwives. Why have you done this? He demanded. Why have you allowed the boys to live? The Hebrew women are not like Egyptian women, the midwives replied. They're more vigorous and have their babies so quickly we cannot get there in time. So God was good to the midwives, and the Israelites continued to multiply, growing more and more powerful. And because the midwives feared God, he gave them families of their own. So let's take a few moments and discuss anything that maybe stood out to you while we read that. Next question is this: share about something you did that mattered that no one noticed. Maybe helping somebody, maybe doing something around the house, maybe serving in some capacity. For me, well, it's kind of a funny thing, I guess, is that when we bought the building that we're in Terryville, we found out that they wanted us to replace the septic tank, and it was not because the septic tank failed. It was just because they didn't have it on record what it was, and so they wanted us to replace it. And so we had to hire a company and spend thousands of dollars to come and dig a hole in the ground, pull out a perfectly operational septic tank, and put in another septic tank, and then bury it up. Nobody saw it. Nobody really appreciated. Well, I guess they appreciated it because, well, the toilet flushes. But beyond that, nobody saw it, nobody knew it, but I had to do it nonetheless. But what about you? Share about a time that you did something that mattered, but no one really noticed. Next question is this: tell about a time you took a stand for something, a time you stood for what you believed in. Well, many years ago, I went down to the Capitol. They were having a big rally at the Capitol of Connecticut, Connecticut City Capitol, and it was due to some legislation that was going through that I did not particularly agree with. And so I went down there and tried my best to make my voice heard, stood for what I believed in. What about you? What's something that you stood for that you believed in? Final question is this: how can you make a difference this week? What's something you could do? It doesn't need to be big and major. It can be small and insignificant, but something that makes a difference. What is it that you can do this week? Hey, thank you so much for joining us for our Thrive group this week. We're so glad that you came. We're going to close in prayer. And so, how we do this is we just want to encourage everybody to say a short prayer. You can ask God for direction or healing or guidance, whatever it is. And then, when you're done, the next person will go. Once everyone gets an opportunity to pray, then the group leader will wrap it up. So, with that, thank you guys so much for joining us this week. Let's close in prayer.